ProWrestlingSheet.com.
Welcome, everyone, to another Collider Body Slam Raw recap. We are doing this one early in the morning. I am here. I got my boss shirt, another one of my Black Friday pickups here.
Hey, that is a cool shirt.
Right?
Yeah.
The Sasha Banks.
Is that from like the exclusive shop?
Yes.
Or the custom shop or whatever? That is cool. They
boss.
really have cooler shirts on the custom shop than they do on WWE shop.
I agree. I really enjoy this one, so it was nice to wear this one. I've got one more El Idolo, which I might wear tomorrow. We shall see. But anyway, Raw, this was so interesting. I am John Rocha, one of the hosts here for Collider Body Slam, joined as always by the CEO of Pro Wrestling Sheet. He had 3 dogs to deal with this morning, so he is awake and alive and a little irritated.
Yeah, no, not too irritated. Actually, I'm more awake and alive. I'm not used to doing these so early in the morning, but I like it. I'm pumped. Well, it's not so early in the morning. I talk like we're at like the crack of dawn. It's 8:30.
It's 3 a.m. in the morning while we're recording. no, but let's get into it. So much happened on this Raw, and starting off with Rollins coming for our jobs. He came out to confront Corbin, and basically what everyone has been complaining about on these review and recap shows, or we've been complaining, that's for sure, Rollins put into voice on screen. This wasn't CM Punk with the pipe bomb, but this certainly was echoing what the fans have been saying. It's just a weird meta moment, because it isn't Corbin booking these damn matches. It isn't Corbin creating these storylines. It's creative and Vince. So what do you think was the point of all of this?
Okay, so first, before we dive into that the whole promo, did you think it was awkward how long they had Seth stand in the ring at the beginning?
Yes.
Like, they don't usually, like, that Burn It Down thing doesn't play repeatedly in his entrance song, so it was like they were playing the first, it's like you have a ringtone.
Yeah.
It was like he wasn't answering his phone for his own theme song, and it was just kept going back to the beginning of the Burn It Down and going in a repeat, which is super awkward. I think the what they were going for was that he was about to burn everything down, right? Like that, especially for the promo that followed. It was like a sign of things to come. Of like, hey, this is what he does when he burns it down. He comes in and he speaks the truth. Hot. He comes in hot. Very weird. It was weird to be told in this promo and multiple times throughout the show that the show you've been watching has sucked.
Yeah.
Even if you haven't saying it, we've been saying it, even if everyone's been saying it while watching, it's weird to tune into a show and have them say like, yeah, we know the show's sucked lately. And we're going to point out all the reasons you've said it. Especially because I have a hard time believing that they're making actual changes. I feel like it was with the heat factor, to get to, they were building up heat to allow Rollins to do something like this, because I had heard from people that they were aware of what they were doing in the past couple weeks. Like I kind of said on here, that they were aware of what they were doing in the past couple weeks. They were trying to piss everyone off. It was odd to have that happen, first and foremost. But beyond that, it was a cool moment. I mean, it was a cool opening segment. It was very much like, you said the pipe bomb, and it's not so much a pipe bomb, but when he mentioned the Revival, it was very reminiscent of when it was like, hi, Colt Cabana, and even though Colt Cabana didn't work on the company at the time, and the Revival does, it had that same kind of vibe to it. So I liked it a lot. I mean, don't you think it was kind of weird, though, to have, like, the main person?
Yes.
Right? Because you wouldn't see that, like, if you're, like, I'm trying to think of, like, what it would be comparable to. Like, it's hard because there's not really a lot of shows that are comparable to wrestling in terms of, like, blending reality with fiction.
I think it'd be Aaron Rodgers or Tom Brady coming out and going, why is Kaepernick not here in the league? What is this all about? Roger Goodell's taking $40 million a year. What is he doing? Roger, you're an idiot. Like, at a State of the Union NFL situation.
But the difference is that this is scripted.
Right.
So like,
fair.
I think that's the difference to me, is that, like, if that were to happen, it would be a genuine moment of like someone venting their frustration to let it be known they support Colin Kaepernick.
Simulate.
Totally.
Right.
But it's interesting to me that like
it's scripted to do it.
I'm trying to think of like a scripted environment where they would script themselves to say the show they've produced the past couple weeks has sucked.
If maybe Christian would give the Outlaw a chance to complain about the Schmodown, to really complain about this, and Christian told me what to say, complaining about his own product. That it would be a sin, kind of close to that.
It would be similar to that. Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
But like, I almost picture it being like a soap opera or whatever.
Yeah,
but even though soap opera doesn't really blend reality with fiction, so it's kind of, I guess it's more like a reality show coming out, like the Jersey Shore coming on TV, and Snooki being like, man, past 2 weeks of Jersey Shore really fucking suck.
Yeah,
you know, like
yeah.
you'd be like, that's jarring. You
Yeah.
know, like I've watched the past couple weeks and I think it sucks, but you shouldn't think it
Right.
sucks. It's your show,
Yeah.
you know? So
The ratings are down. No one's watching our show.
yeah, it was, and like you said, it was very meta to have Vince script a character
Yeah.
to complain about the things that he himself has written, Vince has written,
Yeah.
but direct it at another character on the show. That's a weird, like imagine Vince sitting there writing that, like
Yeah.
writing down everyone's complaints about his own script. That's a weird scenario.
Oh,
like
yeah.
I feel like that's one of those like only in wrestling type things.
Yeah, thoroughly weird, thoroughly insane. But I also think, ironically, I think it accomplished two things in this. This was maybe the best Corbin's ever been.
Agreed.
Back and forth on a promo. And second, I think they're setting up Rollins now to go for the main strap.
I think they are too.
That was this is why you leave him out there that long before anyone shows up. You let the public like really enjoy him and savor him. Then you have him say what the public's been thinking about saying, the voice of the people in that way, and against Corbin. And so now Corbin's going to put him through hell, a la Vince and Stone Cold again. We've seen this storyline play out a million times, and then eventually he's going to be in a situation where he's going to win the main title, and he may lose the IC title in the process, but that's because he's being set up to win the main title. So
I even, while watching this I thought the same thing while watching it. That it was like, okay, they're giving the ball to Seth here.
Yeah,
they're seeing if he can run with it. They're giving him a chance here. For me personally, the Seth Rollins face character since he kind of like came back from injury and like since it really kind of became a face again, because I think when he came back from injury, he was still got injured a couple of times. But when he really solidified his face turn, it never felt genuine to me. It always felt like they did a little turn of character, a little twisting character to kind of like tweaked it a little bit to get what you needed out of it. Yeah. People would cheer for him, but it never felt like genuine to me. Like, and maybe it's because like I don't know. It's for me personally, it's hard to believe him as a face. Because he just strikes me as such a heel. You know, and he did so well as a heel on the main roster when he was champion and stuff. But yeah, it never felt 100% genuine to me, and last night was one of the first times in his entire face run as like a main eventer, opportunity. Since he's been in the main event as a face, the first time where I was like, that guy does have it again. Like that guy has. You can see he feels energized again. Like that they gave him. He feels like he's given the ball again, and he wants to run with it. Like he's like, oh, I'm getting the chance again. Let's do this, And I really felt that last night. Even so much when he, even more so when he had that promo after the promo backstage, and it was like, you know what? I finally said, if I'm going to be a champion, I can't sit in the back anymore. I have to do something. I have to come out, and I have to be a champion. I have to do what champions do, and all that kind of stuff. I was like, man, that was good stuff. That was good, solid character building stuff where you go like, that made sense now. Like that why he went out there made perfect sense. Why he went out there and he complained about all the things, he complained about the ratings, didn't care what was going to happen because he's a champion and he wants to be a champion. I like that. And you know what? I think you're right. Like I think that at some point in the near future, he's going to have to lose the champion, probably to Baron Corbin.
Yeah, probably.
My guess is that, like you said, I think you're dead on the money. I think Alexa Bliss is going to become the permanent general manager somehow. I think that Stephanie's going to say, you did a terrible job. Look what Seth Rollins said.
Yeah.
You let the ratings go to all-time low. You let chaos run wild. You let Lucha House Party rules happen. You let all these things go down. You're not fit to be general manager. Right. Alexa Bliss, on the other hand, she's done great. She's done these public forums where she's talking to the fans. She's taking advice from them. She's handled the women's division. She keeps women in line. She doesn't have to let women, the heels run amok to show who's in order, who's in charge. Alexa, you're in charge. And then I think Corbin's going to be so pissed off about it that he's going to beat Seth. Somehow he cheats to beat Seth for the title to lead the way for Seth to go to Brock at WrestleMania.
And it's going to be what's his face being the referee. You just
Heath.
know. Yeah, Heath. It's going to be Heath being the referee.
Well, okay, we'll get to that. We'll get to the Heath stuff because I really like the Heath Slater stuff still.
It's starting to work. All right, so the Raw Tag Team Champions were up next. Authors of Pain with Drake, for some reason, took on Bobby Roode and Chad Gable. I don't know how they got a title shot, but they got a title shot, and then they won. And like, What was the whole fucking point? What was the whole point of giving the AOP the belts and have them have a run as these big unbeatable dudes if you're just going to hand the belt to Gable and Roode on some bullshit with Drake Maverick? I just, all around, is this the end of Drake Maverick? Are they like setting up to move him out and put Precious Paul? Do you think they're working on stuff behind the scenes?
No.
No? Okay.
No. You know, Vince in his wrestling, he's a kid. You think that he's still thinking about Paul Ellering? No, he's thinking about piss. That's the only P that he's thinking of.
I feel like Paul's whispering in his ear, Precious Paul would be great. Paul Heyman whispering in his ear.
No. You know Drake Maverick Vince loves it. He pees on stuff. He pees on himself.
I know, but they're setting him up to be an idiot. Like, he's taking away from the AOP. He's now a liability in terms of AOP getting over as this badass killer team.
But what if, go with me here.
Sure.
What if this is being done in an effort to make you so mad at Drake Maverick for the next 6 months?
Yeah.
To where he's constantly screwing everything up for the Authors of Pain, and they finally snap and they beat the crap out of him, and then they're this monster face duo. They're like tough badasses. They don't have a manager.
Okay.
I'm just saying, like,
it's punching down to beat a 2-foot tall guy when you're both 10 feet.
Yes, but if he continually messes everything up for you guys, and you promised, and then it beat him, I don't know. Like, I don't hate it, because you know what? I'll be honest with you, it's better than what they were doing before.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that.
Which was like nothing, you know.
I agree.
My major gripe with this, I didn't. Yes, I feel the same way. The title reign was very short, though. I think they're going to get the tails back soon. I don't foresee it being like on Chad Gable and Bobby Roode for long. Although, who knows? Considering
the B
Vince
team
had
a run.
Yeah, and Vince is probably the only person who seems entertained by that tag team. What bothers me more about that tag team? Is like everyone watching. I feel like most people that look at that tag team go like, Chad Gable is such an entertaining dude. Like, even my girlfriend watching, who's like, she likes wrestling, but she's not like hardcore like us. She's like, why don't they do more with Chad Gable? Like, like, I feel like they don't do enough with Chad Gable. And then he came walking out dressed up like Bobby Roode, and she was like, what? Yeah. Like, that's weird, you know? And I felt the same way. It was like, if anything, Bobby Roode should try to be more like Chad Gable than Chad Gable trying to be like Bobby Roode. You know, at this point, like, the glorious thing is not over anymore.
Not anymore.
It's almost it's irritating to me at this point. Like it's so like, if you're not going to make it a heel thing, it's not a face thing anymore.
That's what I feel like. It's wrapped up in wasted potential. And so when people hear it, they're like, oh, remember when this was so great at NXT? Yeah. Remember when they blew it when it came to the main roster, and now they're still trying to make it happen?
And you still feel the same way with Chad Gable, too. And now Chad Gable's in there, and you're like, oh, remember when Chad Gable was awesome in American Alpha, and they were like one of the best tag teams in WWE, you know? And it's like, and then he got, like, for some reason, just cast aside as, like, the guy we can just throw in tag teams wherever need be, you know? That was the most disappointing part of it to me. But, on the other hand, like, kudos to them. I mean, like, Chad Gable got a title in WWE. That's great. Chad Gable's tag team champion again. I'm happy for that. I'm a Chad Gable fan. So, like, I personally am pumped to see Chad Gable be a champion in WWE again.
Yeah, we'll see.
I just hope that it leads to more than just, like, him being Little Nate for Bobby Roode.
Right.
Because that's how it looks when you watch it. Like, it looks like he's, like, a little brother in wearing his big brother's clothes, standing next to it. It just doesn't look right. Like, and Chad Gable's cool on his own. Like the fact that the whole towel thing was never really used on the main roster is mind-boggling to me, because that was one of the most fun parts about his character was the Ready, Willing, and Gable thing. Yeah, that was awesome. It'd be like taking away the 3 eyes from Kurt Angle before he got on the main roster. I feel like they never really, and maybe they did it early on when they were on SmackDown, but I feel like it never really was a thing they did on the main roster. I feel like the comments are going to be flooded. People telling me I'm wrong, but I feel like if it wasn't used for long, and because I feel like I love that Ready, Willing, and Gable thing. Yeah,
I don't disagree.
Also, since we passed over the beginning, I don't think we're going to have time to go back to it. Sure. Do you think it's like counteractive to back to the beginning a little bit? Because I thought about it as we were talking about this. Do you think it's counteractive to tell the audience the show they've been watching has sucked? Or do you think it's helpful if they're going to do some kind of change?
I think it's their way of owning it. It's a meta way of owning it, and it's also kind of a thing to the fans of like, hey, we hear you, we're recognizing it. Just like CM Punk's Pike Bomb. Yeah, they told him what to hit, They probably told him what they had, but he said, I want to hit this and this and this. And maybe he went off script in a couple of spots. But overall, that was all talked about ahead of time. And that was on purpose, right? Because they saw, okay, this could work. Like the few times that it gets through to Vince that this could work in a different way than you've been doing it since the 80s. Like this could, and I think this is that they realized, okay, maybe Triple H was said to him, like, look, the ratings are tanking. We need to own this shit. Like, we need to have somebody come out there, and somebody the fans love, come out there and tell we put it on Corbin. We don't put it on ourselves. We put it on Corbin about what's been going on. And now the fans feel like there's hope for change. There's possibilities that things will turn around now that we've said it out loud and put it out there. So now the fans, like, subconsciously know that we're going to make some changes.
But okay, and I agree with you.
Sure, it's dangerous.
But don't you think it's real? Yes. Don't you think it's real dangerous to do that when you know in your heart at the end of the day you're not really going to make any changes? Like, you might make a change of thing here or there, but you're not going to make any changes. Like, nothing's really going to be different. Like, at the end of the day, it's going to be the same show. You're not making drastic changes to the show because of 2 bad episodes.
Well, I think they had to do something. And I think it's more than 2. I think it's the whole year Raw hasn't been that great overall.
I don't think you say the whole year. When we started doing these recap shows, we were very high on Raw. Braun was destroying things.
Oh, fair enough. Okay.
And that was only 4 months ago when I started here. Okay. So, I mean, we were pretty high on Raw.
It's been a year. It's been a year. I don't know if you know this, but it's been a year, Ryan.
Since I've been here?
Yeah, it's been a year.
It's only been 4 months. Trust me, I'm well aware of how many months I've been here. I just had to do some paperwork on it, so...
No, you're right. We were a little... we were higher on it than before, but like, the last... But I think it's more than 2 shows. I think it's been the last few weeks.
Yeah, last few weeks.
Yeah, there's been issues.
2 weeks.
Yeah,
it's
sure.
really bad. Like, we had our gripes, but we weren't like shitting all over the entire show until the past like 2 to 3 weeks.
Yeah.
2 weeks, really. Like, we had a bad week. We were like, oh, that was bad. And then the next one came and we were like, what are we going to say that's positive about this? And then there was last week where it was nothing really fixed. So I get it. Yes, you're right. I think that but do they need to acknowledge it?
I think they had to.
Why?
I think because they want to make changes and they want to fan.
But do you think they're actually going to want to make changes?
Yes.
Like what?
I don't know what's coming, but certainly giving Seth a spotlight is a change to move into the main spot possibly.
I have a hard time
believing bitching about Lesnar not fighting since 2012 on Raw.
That was a wild fact.
I didn't know that was true.
I didn't either. Me and my girlfriend looked at each other. We were like, that is a crazy fact.
He shows up and he doesn't fight unless he's like got a back and forth promo thing or something. I'm like, oh, I didn't know that. So yeah, that was mind blowing.
That was a wild fact. Mm-hmm. Like I was like, whoa, I don't think I even recalled that.
I don't know that Lesnar.
I felt like he'd had 1 or 2 since he's been, since he came back.
Right.
Crazy.
Well, and they made a title change. And so, there's things they're going through that I think they're making a little bit of changes through this. The Drake Maverick thing now costing the title.
But the title change they made was to Bobby Roode and Chad Gable.
I agree, but at least it's change. It's something different.
Okay.
And I would say that what we're going to get to next, Ruby Riott coming out, that is really uncomfortable.
Okay.
But I think it still was like a change.
No, it was just as bad as it's been before with their whole
this
the glasses.
This is worse than glasses. You
exactly.
Put the homie's picture on the table.
Exactly. I feel like that shows they're not changing. That's just in line with everything they've been doing.
To me, it feels like they're leaning even more into it. They're going all the way with it rather than something stupid like glasses, which people were making fun of for weeks since it happened. They were like, we're going to have you go through your dad's image. Yeah. That's messed up.
That's super messed up.
But it's change. I think it's even leaning in even harder into it, in my opinion.
But if you're
it's uncomfortable as hell.
If the change that you make is to make things like not as like maybe less cool,
wait till Ambrose takes away Reigns' leukemia medication. Then you've gone full on nuts. It's gonna happen.
Oh, that whole the Ambrose stuff was weird this week, and we'll get to that.
But what do you think of the Ruby Riott? Did you like this?
I didn't dislike it.
Okay.
It was just like a oh boy. Like, oh boy. That was really all I could say.
It was uncomfortable. Like, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
Her dad is not even, it's been a month? Less than a month?
It's been a little longer than that, but still.
Still.
Yeah.
Look, it took me 3 years to get over the death of my dad, and no one was trying to bring him up all the time and put me through a table with his image in it. That's madness to me.
It's one of those things
I think the Amble would appreciate it, but it's still madness.
That's what I was going to say. It's one of those things where wrestling is such a weird business. Mm-hmm. because my girlfriend,
Subculture.
because my girlfriend was saying the same thing last night. She was like, "Man, like, I get it, but like, it's so fresh." You know, like she was like, "It just happened," because she watched Total Divas and stuff too, and she was like, "It just happened. Like, do they have to do that?"
Yeah.
And I was like, I mean, no, they don't have to do that. But I think, like, in that mindset of wrestlers and their children, like, and their family members, I think they do see it as, like, in the business, it's not seen as, like, a gross thing like that. In the business, it's seen as, like, hey, this wrestler got to be involved in an angle one last time.
Well,
one last angle on the way out. Even in death, they get to help put over their kid or whoever. And I guess you can't be too mad about that. But as a viewer, it is more awkward because I do think there's a disconnect there where, like, yes, to those in the business, it's an honor to some, you know, like, especially like Natty being directly involved. I have a hard time believing Natty wasn't like, of course, let's do this. Jim, my dad would love this. You know, it might even help with the grieving process.
Yeah,
but it is tough to watch sometimes because you're like, oh man, like this guy died, you know, like this guy just died. But at the end of the day, you know, this is all building heat. Like this is all to build heat so that Natty can be more over.
Well, listen, if you watch Total Divas, Total Divas, and I watched the first few seasons, like Natty's. She's very insecure about her position all the time in the company. That comes through in all those episodes. She feels like she isn't used enough. She lost that spot at WrestleMania. She has all these things that happen to her. To me, this is like, I know everybody says she's great and she's awesome and she's a nice person. She is, but she's also desperate for the spotlight, and you can tell. And I
don't know. Do you still watch the show?
This angle, though, is very uncomfortable.
Do you still watch Total Divas?
No, I don't.
See, I'm still a loyal watcher. Okay. Well, I've fallen a little behind the scenes. No, I don't think she's like that at all anymore. I don't think she's desperate for her position in the slightest bit. I think that she's very comfortable in her position now. She's very happy with everything that's going on.
I take it back.
Especially with TJ being on the road and a producer now that she gets to like be around and stuff. Like, I think she's very comfortable with everything that's going on.
So she's happy to do the spot.
Yeah, I honestly believe that there's no
need to be need to use this to be relevant in some way.
No, not at all. Not at all.
I take your word for it. I don't watch it, so I take your word for it.
Not my opinion. No, if anything, I really do think that it's like it helps her as part of the grieving process as a wrestler.
Then I respect that.
Think of how many wrestlers have, you know. It's a thing, you know, like, not all. I mean, Cody Rhodes was against it. Cody Rhodes is heavily against using anything related to his dad. Because I think he's very much like you. Like, it's a thing that he has to get through.
Exactly.
He's still getting through, you know? And he gets through it in his own way, you know? So I think that you can't really fault anyone for the way they get through.
And I'm not.
No, I know you're not.
If
I know
she's
you're
okay
not.
with it, I'm okay.
Because I haven't heard of it. Trust me, if she wasn't, I feel like I would have heard about it. You know?
Yeah.
So I don't think that that's the case at all. You know, I think that, you know, just not wrestling related, for example, but like my brother passed away, you know, a few years, you know, a while ago now. And like he was an organ donor.
Right.
So someone got his heart. And that person's still alive and doing things. And so my parents made the effort to try and meet the person. And so they went and met the person, you know, a few weeks ago, and it was a very cool thing for them, you know. But for me, it doesn't really help the grieving process at all. It doesn't make me happier to see this, you know, happier or more sad to see that this person has a brother's heart. Like, it's just a beating heart at this point. Like, it's not connected to my brother, even though he says, like, oh, I like Mexican food now. Like, it's not, you know, like this just because this Asian guy likes Mexican food now, it doesn't mean my brother's in there somewhere, you know? That's how I look at it, you know? But it helps my parents, you know? So, like, cool, it helps them, great, you know? So I think it's just, you can't really fault how people go through the grieving process. So if Natty wasn't okay with it, I feel like it wouldn't be a thing. I bet you anything, I have a feeling that she was very much pushed for it even.
Okay. All right, I'm down. By the way, I've never found Ruby Riott more hotter than she was doing this promo. I like the crazy ones. What can I tell you? I like the crazy mean ones. She was hot doing this promo. Hot.
Yeah, my girlfriend had similar comments while watching it.
See? She was sexy doing this thing.
Yeah, but beyond just that, man, Ruby Riott is like, I don't know what switch turned on inside of her.
We've seen this happen many times, though, Ryan, over the years of wrestling.
But when she was gone for like
opportunity, then boom.
Yeah, but when she was gone for like a few weeks, I think that she really like I don't know what it was, but she came back with like a fury, and she has been excellent on the microphone. Like I feel like unsung like promo hero lately. Like she has just been spitting fire. Like she's not Becky Lynch or whatever.
Yeah, right.
But man, I feel like people in the back have to be taking notice. So the higher up type people have to be taking notice of like how much she is killing it on the microphone. Like she's great.
She
I mean,
will
like
have a title soon.
Yeah, she has to be one of those ones that's like slotted in there as like a, hey, this girl is going to be here for the long run.
Yeah, with Alexa being sidelined with the injury, now moving to kind of GM status, and then you have Nia fumbling the ball like crazy with her promos and this whole thing with Ronda.
Oh, that promo was so bad.
It's terrible. There's room for Ruby to slide in here and take this spot. There's a spot for her to take. She is doing the workmanlike approach. She appeals to the old school wrestling fans and the new fans. So to me, she's got the right combo. If she keeps laying down this groundwork, she is going to be there with a belt around her waist, and much deserved.
And like you said, the look is kind of like there now. Like she just like oozes confidence now, and I think that's part of why you're saying that. Because I don't think she looks that much different than she has before.
Oozing confidence.
It's that she's oozing like all this confidence that you look at her and you're just like, man, that person is a badass, you know?
Like Becky.
Yeah, it's very similar to Becky.
Yeah.
I mean, she might not be catching on like Becky
but
is,
she will.
But I think she will too. Like I honestly think that she is kind of like gonna be the Becky that like the next person that people are like, that's the unsung hero.
Yep.
Like Becky was always that. Becky was always like, hey, she should be getting more opportunity, but she's talking about quinoa in the back. I have a feeling Ruby Riot's gonna be the next one where people are like, why is Ruby Riot not champion yet? Like, and it's gonna be tough because that women's division is stacked right now, and on top of it being stacked, there's like this huge roster of women in NXT right now that are like chomping at the bit to get there, like to where they're not even getting called up yet, like a Nikki Cross. Nikki Cross should have been on the main roster yesterday, you know, or a month ago, year, you know, whatever, when Sanity came up. So yeah, it's like, man, like the women's division is crazy good right now, and so it's cool to see her coming into her own like that. Ruby Riot.
Definitely. Well, coming into her own is Drew McIntyre more and more every week.
Totally.
What a great match against Ziggler. I love this.
Well, you know, to hate to cut you off there, but the Drew McIntyre thing right there, I think what Seth Rollins said at the top of the show is so true. That right now the talent on this roster is maybe uncomparable to some of the rosters they've had in the past. You know, like it is so stacked, so good. And we're just seeing that like a Seth Rollins, Ruby Riot, Drew McIntyre, Dean, you know, like, oh man, like and that's the top. Dean hasn't even come into the show yet, but I'm just talking about the people we've just seen in the first hour and a half of Raw or whatever. Like such talent, and that's just packed into like the first hour of the show. It's crazy. It's really crazy.
But this is a good match, I would say, overall. Great stuff between these two guys. They're kind of pushing this breakup a little too quickly for me, but we knew it was coming eventually, so it's happening now. I imagine Ziggler will end up being a face, or sadly tumble back down to mid-card status. You posted, I think, tweeted that he's on a comedy tour.
Yeah, he's doing a comedy tour.
So maybe he's getting a little bit of break here.
Well, it seems to be like in conjunction with like you know, his live events and stuff like that.
So it seems to coincide, so it's working out in that way. So once again, no, McIntyre now moving forward. It does kind of cheapen Ziggler's victory last week, but it had to happen.
Yeah, but at the same time, I thought they played it off so well in that promo from McIntyre right before the match, where he was like, I'll say it right now, like, I don't care about losing. Everyone loses. Andre the Giant lost. Stone Cold Steve Austin lost. Hulk Hogan lost. Like, I don't think he said Hulk Hogan. I forget which ones he named, but I'm just saying, like, you know. But him putting it into perspective like that was genius. Like, it was like, it made his loss not even matter anymore. Like, we talked about it last week. Like, oh, man, like, but, you know, they could have built it up to it. You know what? They didn't have to. Like, it's not like he was Brock Lesnar where they were building up the undefeated streak. It just so happened that he hadn't lost yet. I don't think we were keeping track of his win record and realizing that. It just so happened that he hadn't lost yet. So I think it was played off well to where he was like, I don't care. And then he won, so it was like, yes, it did make last week's win less important for Dolph. You're right in that regard. But I thought it was smart because I think that Drew is the more important star right now. And so he should be protected more than Dolph Ziggler.
Did we need a 6-minute interview with Titus O'Neil and Bayley? Did we need a 6-minute interview with those two for the Mixed Match Challenge and all of that?
You know what? I may have I may have missed that.
Oh yeah, 6 minutes.
I'm glad I missed that.
Yeah, because
is that where they talked about? Okay.
Titus stepping in for Finn because Finn's injured.
See, I went to the bathroom and then I didn't see that part, and I was really confused the rest of the show. Okay, so they had an interview that explained that Finn was injured and that he's missing Mixed Match Challenge, but he's still going to be at TLC.
They haven't said if he's going to be at TLC or not.
Because that was what was okay. So actually, I take it back. I did see that part
because Titus is in there.
I did see that part.
Yeah.
Wait, is it Titus who replaced her or Apollo?
Oh, I'm sorry, Apollo. God damn it. I'm sorry about that. Because they're both in the same tag team. That messed me up.
Used to be in the same tag
Apollo,
team.
Yeah, they used to be. But Apollo.
That's what threw me off. I was like, I don't remember a Titus and Bailey promo.
Apollo.
That I do remember, and I was confused.
It's 3 a.m. Give me a break.
It's 3 a.m. Guys, give us a break.
No, Apollo, stepping in.
I did see that.
6-minute interview. Do we need a 6-minute interview?
No, we don't. And I was very confused because, and I remember texting James about this during the show now that I know the right person you're talking about.
I apologize.
I remember texting James during the show, and I said to him, like, did I miss something? Because this whole Drew McIntyre segment, they kept talking about how Finn versus Drew at TLC. Finn versus Drew at TLC. He's ready for Finn at TLC. Right? They said it multiple times.
I don't think it's going to be Finn.
And then they cut to this Bailey Apollo thing. Apollo. They cut this Bailey Apollo Cruise thing.
Yeah. I love AC.
They could have, and they're talking about how he's injured.
Yeah.
And I was like, wait. They just were hyping that it's going to be Finn versus Drew at TLC this weekend, and now they're saying Finn Balor's injured.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
So I was confused by that because it was very separate things they were telling you there.
Yeah.
I have heard. I don't know what how long, but the illness thing that was reported is what I've heard. He's got like a little bit of an illness.
Oh, an illness.
I think they were in Mexico recently, and it's like it might be a little like a little sickness kind of a thing.
Are you joking?
You know? Not like Montezuma's Revenge. He's out just for that type of thing, but like I think it's
That's
something
weird.
that they maybe like a Mexico kind of thing. You can get sick in Mexico. You know,
You can get sick in Mexico.
Yeah. And so I think it was something related to that. So I think that's why they kind of were so open about, like, kind of like broad about it.
Yeah.
You know? I'm guessing, I have a feeling he'll be available, but if not, I wonder what they do. I wonder how they, like, work around it. I guess they could just say he's still injured and can't make it.
Yeah.
But then what do you do with
Ziggler?
Drew? Again?
Yeah.
They did it on Raw.
Yeah, you do, but you make it a TLC. That makes sense to me
But it
as a
wasn't
rubber
gonna be,
match.
But it wasn't going to be a TLC between...
No, but that's what you do. You asked me what you do. You make Ziggler, you make it a rubber match, and you make it a TLC match.
Because I do think that they did the TLC match on Raw this week.
Yeah.
Because we're not getting Braun versus Baron in a TLC match.
Right.
And this was like their make good on it. Like, hey, we feel bad that we're doing a TLC pay-per-view and we're promoting Braun versus Baron. You're not really going to get an actual TLC match. Because
you keep saying it, but you're not
you
gonna
keep
get
saying it, you're probably not going to get it. Because I'm going to work on it today. But I just got that vibe while watching. Like, I was like, why would they give us a TLC match a few days before TLC pay-per-view where the whole hook is that you get to see one of these matches or two of these matches?
Doesn't make sense.
That was my thought process while watching it. But wait, where were we? Oh, the Finn stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope that we get Finn versus Drew McIntyre still because, man, if Finn got sick as they're giving him a push finally again, that will be the
Or injured.
Or injured. I don't think he's injured. From
Okay.
what I've heard, it's a sickness kind of a thing.
Okay.
And that there's kind of like a fear in general amongst the roster that there might be more sick.
Yikes.
People may have gotten sick in Mexico.
Right.
But if he got sick again as he's on the verge of another push, even if it was just by random occurrence in Mexico, that sucks, man. Like, that is terrible for his luck that he's finally going to push to, like, getting a test as one of, like, in one of the top feuds on the show, and he gets sick again. Man, like, that can't... We all know how Vince is. Vince is even, like, coughing. Vince hates when people cough and sneeze around him. There's no way he's going to, like, not look at that as some sort of, like, a weakness on Finn, you know, which is so stupid. So stupid, but you can't help but think about it just knowing the stories you hear about Vince McMahon. The sneezing thing, for instance. Like, you can't even help sneezing, and he hates it. He hates to sneeze, or he expects no one to sneeze around him. That is preposterous. It's preposterous. Coughing?
Get away from me.
Coughing?
You're going to make me ill. You weak son of a bitch.
You weak cougher. You weak sneezer.
Well, Dean Ambrose. So Dean Ambrose does his promo with Charlie Caruso, doing this whole thing about whether this or that, and with Rollins, and thinks Rollins is doing the ego trip action and all this. So I love that they showed that video, and then he just walks on out. It's just like, that's it. Enough said.
You like that?
I did.
I
thought it was cool.
I thought it was very out of current Dean Ambrose character.
Okay.
To stand there for that long of a vignette. Like, I feel like he was just left. Like,
okay.
like, I know it's a TV show.
He's crazy. He's the lunatic fringe.
Don't call him that.
Not to his face.
Don't call him that, Rocha. What'd you think about that part, too, him saying not to call him that?
Yeah, it just goes along with what's been going on since he did the break, when he went at Rollins about it before he actually turned on Rollins.
I like that he doesn't want people to call him crazy,
yeah.
that he finds himself not to be crazy.
Don't call me crazy.
It's a nice little wrinkle, even though it's been done in the past or whatever.
Of course.
But I still, I liked it. Yeah, I liked him. Wait, didn't he say one thing? Didn't he say, he didn't fully walk away. She said, like, what would Roman Reigns think about this? And he, like, stood there forever, and then it was like who cares, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that what he said? Like,
yep.
Who cares? And he walked away. I loved that.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. Because you know what? At the end of the day, I like that. And we talked shit on it initially when it was like him still mentioning Roman Reigns and leukemia. But they're friends, man.
Yeah,
like, these guys are friends. And if they want to still... If this helps Roman in his fight with cancer, knowing that there's a built-in feud that's happening while he's away, that his presence is still being kept alive by his two best friends in another feud, with the hope that it will build up insane amounts of heat for Dean Ambrose when Roman Reigns comes back.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah.
Like, I can't hate it. Like, I can't hate it. And I like that he did, like, who cares? It made him seem like such a dick.
Yeah.
The most dick thing that he's done since turning heel. Who cares? He beat up Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins beat him up once. Like, whatever, But yeah, the who cares thing of like Roman Reigns, you're like, but that's your boy. He didn't do it. He did nothing to you. Like, Roman Reigns was there for you.
Yeah.
Like, who cares, Roman Reigns? He's got cancer, Dean Ambrose. Don't be a dick. I loved it. That was great.
All right, we got like a little bit over 10 minutes left, so we should jump in his last two. Well, I'm going to skip this Elias, Bobby, Lio. Do you care about this Lio Rush? Do you want to say anything about it?
I mean, okay, wait, no, but the Heath
referee.
Slater.
Yeah, the Heath Slater.
I thought it was. You don't like this?
Go ahead.
I thought Heath Slater as referee was great.
This is a nice little storyline. He's like, he hates that he has to do it. He's begrudgingly doing it.
I thought it builds up so much sympathy for Heath Slater.
It does.
Like, like when he walked out, me and my girlfriend at the same time both said, "Oh, poor Heath Slater." Like, legitimately, because he had the sad look on his face with the stripes.
Here's the deal, Ryan. How much longer do we have to play storylines out where he's the sad sack and his wrestling ability in the ring doesn't sell him? That it's all about setting up these situations.
That's not fair to say, because he's not given the opportunity. When he has been given the opportunity, like that one time, he's ever been given an opportunity to actually wrestle a competitive match against Seth Rollins, people went crazy for it.
Okay.
So it's not fair to say that. And every time he's been involved in stuff, whether it be 3MB or whatever,
or Rhino with him.
Or Rhino, it's gotten over. Everything that he has done has gotten over. You can't say that he doesn't get over. You don't think Heath Slater gets over?
It's not that I don't get over. It's just I'm tired of playing this storyline out with him, because last time I got to feed my kids.
Yeah.
Now I need a job. Now it's this. It's like it's consistent. How much of a sad sack the storylines work with him all the time? Can't we get a Heath Slater that doesn't need that shit to get over?
Well, but you don't find it a compelling storyline to have like someone continually pushed down to where if the
For
payoff,
20 years?
Well, it hasn't been that long. But if the payoff to this is Heath Slater finally getting a singles opportunity to where like he gets to be himself.
If he gets to wear the title.
No, not the title. I don't want to see Heath Slater as champion.
McIntyre and Jinder Mahal and somehow Heath Slater have all held the title.
3MB Dynasty.
That would be insane. Insane.
No, I mean, I don't see him winning the world title, but I do think that with the roster, with them needing to build up more people, with them shuffling things around.
Yeah.
I think Heath Slater has put in the time. He's very like Jeff
disagree.
Jarrett where Jeff Jarrett got a main event run eventually, and I know people didn't like it, but he was entertaining. You can't say Jeff Jarrett wasn't entertaining.
I hate Jeff Jarrett.
What?
Hate Jeff Jarrett.
You're not a fan of Jeff Jarrett? Like when he was
I've never known anyone to believe they were better than they actually were as much as Jeff Jarrett does. Like, there are people who are insecure, and he balances out the universe because he is so overconfident what he can do. But that being said, he is successful because of that. He has started promotions and been successful with them because of that. He's worked himself into positions of power within numerous wrestling companies because of his overconfidence in himself. So as much as I may not like it, you can't argue his success with it.
Oh, yeah, no, he's like a cat with 9 lives, dude. Like,
he always,
you think he's dead, he pops right back up, and he's got a whole new thing going on.
And people like him because enough people come to watch him do his stuff.
Absolutely. Before we have to switch to the main event, I also like that, Heath Slater is getting almost like a Scott Armstrong-like storyline, where it's like the reluctant heel referee because the guy in power is forcing him to do it. I like that, I like that like, you remember that? It was very similar to that, even the whole disqualification, but then not. I thought that was great. The fact that you're like, wait, these bastards. These bastards. Like, Corbin, you bastard. You figured out a new way to be an asshole. You bastard, Corbin. So I like that, and then, seeing Lio Rush on Raw was awesome. Seeing him wrestle on Raw was so cool because I think that, I think Lio Rush is insanely talented.
He is very good.
So I'm a huge fan of his, and it was cool seeing him get a win on Raw.
Yeah, well, there's a red light. All right, let's jump on this thing. Well, the Nia Jax promo was terrible.
This has
been the worst build-up since Mark Henry, John Cena. At least Mark Henry had that funny promo with the retirement thing.
I was going to say, that's like a legendary promo.
It is, but it's so preordained what's going to happen here.
Fair enough.
That at least that promo worked.
Okay.
Whereas none of these promos have been working at all.
But you didn't like John Cena versus Mark Henry?
That was a boring ass match, man.
Because you said funny, that promo. I feel like that promo was like a legendary promo.
No. The retirement promo was brilliant, genius.
Okay.
I'm saying this
the
setup.
build-up besides that.
Right. This setup between them is a similar setup, but without that promo.
Okay.
And so this promo is so terrible.
The promo,
none of the promos have been good.
I don't know if it was her or the writing of it, but it was god-awful.
Yeah.
I was just like, I tried to be positive. I tried to be positive, but I was just sitting there just like, this is so bad.
It's bad.
And I texted people just like, am I the only one that thinks it's bad? And everyone was like, no, that was so bad.
Yeah, Ember Moon was sitting in the back going, oh, Jesus Christ.
And I also hate...
I'm so much better than this girl.
It was so stupid to me. And maybe it's just like a dumb wrestling trope, but when... two people are in the ring. Mm-hmm. Ronda comes running out.
Right.
They duck out of the ring, and she runs up to the ropes and then stands there. Why did you run out there if you weren't there to... The ropes, it's not a wall.
Yeah.
You just got to go through them.
It happens all the time.
I know, but it was... I don't know
it's
why.
It's that choreographed shit.
It was just like, you made this whole run out there.
Yeah.
Do something while you're there. And then it was like she just stood there, and then Ember Moon did the same thing. It was like there was a force field between them that they couldn't get through, and it drove me crazy.
Is Tamina almost... this was tough to watch. I think Ember...
I didn't like it.
Ember's great, but Tamina, I think the injuries... there's just too many. I think they've caught up to her. I don't see flow in her wrestling. And this may be still ring rust or whatever, but it looked like Ember was carrying the whole match.
Yeah.
And Tamina was just taking the bumps and couldn't quite... Like, that one where she kicked Tamina and Tamina's head snapped against the ropes before she rolled. I was scared.
Yeah.
And I think it was legitimate, her leaning against the pole or post, rather. It looked like a very dangerous possibility to, snap her neck back or hurt her some way. So I wonder if she got hurt and they just kind of pinned her. But you can tell it's Nia carrying this thing because Tamina's just out there to look rough. But
Tamina's definitely there as her
Nia
muscle.
Destroyed her.
Yeah.
Ember destroyed her.
She's there to, take... Tamina's there to, take the hits for Nia, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was rough. It was rough, and I didn't enjoy it.
I hope this match is over quick. And I hope Ronda just destroys her. Once I would like a squash match with Ronda, and this one is it, so we can move on to the next thing. Because Becky's already been talking about Twitter about how she wants, or not talking, but there's rumors about how she wants Ronda.
No, she said it. No, she said it on Air Helwani's show. She was like, it's what I go to sleep thinking about. It's what I wake up thinking about. It's literally all I think about 24/7. It's the only question. It's only fair. Ronda and I are the two most popular people in the company right now. We should close the show.
No matter what Charlotte thinks. Yeah. Agreed. Oh man, that three picture black and white thing she posted of her lifting tires. I was like, damn right.
Yeah,
woman.
I saw your response. You were so pumped.
I would love that. All right, Rollins and Baron Corbin went at it for this TLC match for the title. Good match. Jesus
Great
Christ.
Match.
This
has to be Baron Corbin's best match.
Absolutely, hands down.
Yeah.
You got to give it up when credit is due.
Yeah.
this deserves a lot of credit.
Agreed.
What a fantastic match. He really
Granted, he had Rollins as a dancing partner, which Rollins was great, but he's had Rollins as a dancing partner before.
Yep.
You know, I mean,
Yep.
like this was, you can't say it wasn't a good match.
This
like,
may be Corbin sensing that his time as like commissioner, like it could be over, or general manager could be over here, and so he's gonna go out on a high note.
Yeah,
and so I like this match.
I'm right there with you.
Yeah.
That I think the same thing, that it was like a, hey, okay, I'm probably gonna go back to wrestling now. You know, like, I might be back to wrestling soon if I don't beat Braun Strowman this weekend.
Right.
So yeah, I completely agree, and I think that he killed it. Like even so much so to where like the whole Heath Slater involvement, like, for a minute, even made me think that he was going to win. Like, I actually thought that Corbin was going to win for a minute. Like, I had it in my mind, like, oh, is Corbin going to win? Which, Corbin pulling off believable near falls or not near fall, but almost winning the match status in a ladder match. Like, I thought that was great. Like, unexpected. Heath kind of like being reluctant, but then still helping, but then it backfiring. All that was good drama.
Yeah.
I think it's building up towards something good down, wherever it's all going. I liked it. And Seth, I mean, I agree. I think Seth should keep the title.
Yeah.
If anything, I know we kind of said that he might lose the Intercontinental title, but I wouldn't mind him keeping the Intercontinental title to WrestleMania and it being like Intercontinental versus Universal, which hasn't really been a thing that they've done that I can think of.
Well, I mean, with Warrior and Hogan.
No, I know, but with Universal title.
Oh, right.
They haven't really done like Universal title versus Intercontinental Champion like that.
So.
And if they can build it up as like the Intercontinental Championship is on the same level as the Universal Championship, it'll be it'll make it less annoying when the Universal Championship isn't always there, because the Intercontinental title is the main is like the top Raw title, which I kind of like.
Yeah, I'm down with that. Overall, I would say this was a little bit of a better Raw than we'd seen the last couple of weeks.
Absolutely.
Yeah, some of the things, like Ryan said, some of the beats kind of remain the same, but I also thought there was more, at least there was better in-ring action overall in this Raw than there has been in the last few weeks. So that's a positive, I think, as well.
Yes, I agree with you. Everything you said right there. Before we give all the plugs and get out of here for Collider Live.
Yeah.
One thing we have not talked about the past few weeks that has happened on the show that I just want to quickly get your opinion on.
Yeah.
And it's happened on all the shows. And I feel like it's one thing that we haven't really mentioned.
Okay.
Are the Lars Sullivan promos.
Oh, yeah.
What are you thinking about them? Not digging them. Really?
How many times have we seen big guys come up with that kind of promo and they shit the bed? So to me, I'm not saying Lars is going to shit the bed.
Fair.
I'm saying I've seen these promos so many times. They did promos like this for Rhino. They've done promos for all the big dudes who come up into the next level or come over to another brand. They do it all the time, and then they just don't do it. So
even the way they're like building
he's
like
a monster.
the anticipation.
I've seen Lars lose to Aleister Black. What monster are you talking about? Like, Lars has lost multiple times in NXT.
Yeah,
so
but
this is not a monster I'm afraid of.
You
And
forget,
these are lower quality wrestlers.
You
in terms
forget
of,
how many people that watch.
Right,
There's a
don't know.
much larger
Right,
portion of people
right.
who don't watch NXT
That's
than
fair.
do.
That's
you know,
fair.
and so they don't know that.
Right,
so
right,
I mean,
right.
just as like, if you forget about NXT,
Yeah.
do you think the vignettes are effective in building him up so far? And like, we don't know where he's coming.
Well,
we don't know which brand he's
Once
going to
again,
be on.
I'm the wrong guy to ask because I've watched since the 80s, so I've seen these promos multiple times for different guys, and they don't pan out. So to me, it's nothing new. I think it's great that Lars is getting a push. I'm really shocked he's getting this kind of push because he essentially didn't get. Nobody really got this kind of announcement push to come in from NXT in quite some time. So to me, this excites me. This excites me in that way.
Me too.
And it means that they're not just going to make him some big, strong guy, that he's actually going to come in and have a storyline, have something to do. And, you know, like you said, and like we all know, Vince loves his big guys, and this could be another guy to throw in the mix. And I wonder how they're going to make it all play out. But in that way, I'm happy for Lars, because Lars deserves it. He did a lot of work down there in NXT. But the promos themselves do absolutely nothing for me, because until you get up there in the ring, I don't believe that they're not going to fumble another NXT guy coming up into the main rosters.
Yeah, no, it's fair. I mean, they haven't really. Monster-wise, I feel like they've fumbled less monsters, like big guys.
Sanity's gone. Sanity's basically an
That's not
afterthought.
monsters, though.
Those two dudes are big. Other than Eric, those are big dudes. The Ascension was a waste.
Yeah.
You know, AOP's been a waste for the most part.
We haven't really had a solo
That's
monster,
fair.
right? I'm
Yeah.
trying to think. Like, the only one I can think is like Braun, and he was never on TV in NXT.
No.
He was like, he worked at, in the live events.
And I thought Braun was going to be a bust.
Did you?
I did. When he came up with the Wyatts, I was like, another big dude doing
Yeah,
dumb
I
shit.
kind of the same thing.
I had no idea he had this personality.
I'll be honest, when I first saw a picture of Lars, I thought the opposite. I thought, dude, that guy looks like a star. People are gonna be like, that guy looks scary. Like I like that aspect. 'Cause I don't think Braun's as scary looking.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like they gave him like a weird look when they brought him in. But yeah, no, I didn't like the like really tight up on his face promos. But I did think it was funny that they say Lars Sullivan is lurking now. I thought Lars Sullivan is lurking. I thought it was kind of funny.
Plus, I don't like the briefs. I don't like guys who wrestle in briefs. I just don't anymore.
As an old school wrestling guy.
I just don't. I kind of, in that way, I'm a little, like, I'm not 100% consistent in that way. I don't like it. Like, Finn makes me uncomfortable in his briefs. And so does Lars. I just don't like it. And the Revival dudes. I just don't like it. I don't mind Ziggler because Ziggler's got the boxer briefs in essence. I like that Rollins fights in the long pants. I like long pants and I like the boxer briefs. You're wearing the tighty whities in essence. It bothers me
You're
overall.
a Hulk Hogan fan for life. Though.
Yeah, well, Hogan's a whole nother animal. That was back then. I wouldn't want him now. Flair, too. Like, Flair wrestled in the briefs. That's great stuff back then. I would hate to see. By the way, Flair announcing that he can take bumps now. You stop it.
You stop it.
Old man, you stop it.
What I heard.
You survived a heart attack, you son of a bitch.
I heard he can, like, it's not that he can take bumps.
He can take a slap.
He can get slapped.
So Becky can slap him.
Becky can slap him.
Okay.
You know?
If you climb in that fucking ring, old man, I'm going to shoot you myself.
Yeah, that's what I heard at least.
Yeah. Anyway, all right, let's wrap this up. That's our Raw Collider Body Slam Raw recap. Please, Ryan, tell people where you can follow us or anything you do.
ProWrestlingSheet.com. That's the website. At Wrestling Sheet on all social media. YouTube.com/C/Wrestling Sheet. That's where you can find all the videos that we do. Podcast One, the Wrestling Sheet radio feed. Search Wrestling Sheet Radio on Podcast One. iTunes, that's where you find all the audio content we're putting out here at ProWrestlingSheet.com via Collider. And yeah, just keep following everything Collider does as well. Collider Sports, Collider Videos, Collider Games, Collider.
All Collider. And you can follow me at The Rocha Says on Twitter and on Instagram. Follow us there everywhere that Ryan said, but also, the main stuff on the Collider channel and Collider Sports. We've got a lot of stuff happening this week. Had a great Collider Sports time there with Matt Nost, Mark Ellis, and The Bachelor's Jared Habon. Really great stuff. So we'll go to the Collider Sports channel, watch it on YouTube, and listen to it on the Collider Sports podcast channel. Okay, we got to get out of here. Collider Body Slam, Smackdown Live recap tomorrow. Thanks for watching our Raw recap today. Talk to you next time.
ProWrestlingSheet.com